Greetings, everybody! T-Prower once again. There's no point in denying it. Twilight Sparkle and her friends lead very busy lives. Beyond the normal day-to-day stuff we see them do with their jobs and the like, they also have to deal with the occasional call to action for the sake of Equestria. And they have to work all that around their post at the School of Friendship. And on top of that, one day, they're going to be taking the metaphorical reins from the princesses to rule Equestria itself. So how will they balance everything else when that day comes? It's enough to drive anyone bonkers. It all comes down to one hard truth. The balance between work and leisure isn't always easy to manage. Twilight learned that the hard way in Season 7, when she let her obligations as a princess interfere with time with her family. Today, we'll see something similar happen with Starlight Glimmer, as she tries to cope with the workload that comes with being the guidance counselor at the School of Friendship. Without further ado, let's jump right into Season 9, Episode 11, Student Counsel. Let's get to it! Hello, Starlight, Trixie.
So I figured you could use a break.
Picnic time!
Trixie, this looks amazing, but my job doesn't really seem like work. Oh, speaking of...
Bye. I know, Trixie. I know.
Sure,
Hi again.
Being counselor for the students at Twilight's School of Friendship is demanding, but... Oh, one sec.
Case in point.
What was I saying?
Something ironic, I believe.
Being able to use the experiences of my checkered past to help young students feels pretty great.
Which is why Twilight chose to be a guidance counselor, it seems. Honestly, she made a good call. You're perfect for the role, Glims. Not trying to make jabs at your past, of course. Lord knows you had enough of that already.
Oh, yum! Thanks.
Chipmunk
Of
cheeks.
course, I feel nothing but admiration for the work you do, but it is a little all-consuming, and I miss spending time with you.
What are you talking about? We're spending time right now.
Well,
That's not what she meant.
Hold on, thought.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Sorry. I cast a spell on the door to my office, so this bracelet goes off whenever there's a knock.
Convenient,
Worst time with
but
my
also
kids lately.
inconvenient.
Anyway, you were saying?
She was saying how your busy schedule is starting to put a strain on your friendship with her. There's nothing wrong with taking pride in the work you do, Glimmy, but you can't neglect your friends. And right now, Trixie's feeling very neglected. Now that was the angriest sip of tea I've ever seen.
I totally respect my younger
Hey, Silverstream.
decisions to stay sea ponies, but they've never been on dry land. Preparing for a visit with them is almost as much work as the research assignment Head Mare Twilight gave me on hazardous fauna of the Everfree Forest. How would you describe a shower to creatures who live in water? So far, I've got warm and steamy. Actually, steam has water in it.
I don't know. Cleansing? Refreshing? Reinvigorating? Why not try those?
Silverstream, there are a lot of students who want to see me today.
I just need a few shower adjectives that don't rely on the wet part.
Why not
Well,
use a
there's
thesaurus?
clean, relaxing,
Relaxing? I don't know. A nap's relaxing too. Warm and clean are okay. Wow, I have to give this some more thought.
You do that,
okay.
Sylvie.
Well, I'm here to help. My door's always open.
And therein we see the crux of the problem. Starlight having an open door policy makes it a little too easy for students to come talk to her about anything, even if it's not strictly within her job description. Being too generous with her time has gotten her utterly swamped, to her and Trixie's cost.
Except for today, of course.
Trixie! That was so
If we leave now, we
rude.
can finish everything before sundown.
Trixie, I can't leave. It's almost spring break.
She's got to at least work until
Twilight and the
then.
others have already left to celebrate the spring solstice in Canterlot, and I have to help the students with any issues before they head home for the holiday.
Damn it, Trixie!
But I hope you haven't forgotten about the spring solstice.
I think she did.
The party Maud and Mudbriar are throwing.
Glad to have them back.
Sunburst is coming to town.
And Sunburst, too.
You and I promised to make the cake.
Was it a pinky
How
promise?
could I possibly forget about that?
That's how. I feel so bad for that poor stallion.
No pony is saying your job isn't important, but plans you make with your friends are important too.
She has a point,
I
Clims.
know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have forgotten. Obviously, I need to be available to my students, but that doesn't mean I can't help with all the things we have to do.
Good.
That's the spirit.
Great.
So, what are all the things we have to do?
Not making yourself
Maud
look
needs
good
streamers
here.
for the decorations. Sunburst wants us to pick up a genuine pre-equestrian spring solstice chafing dish from the antique shop. Of course
Very
he does.
specific.
Mudbriar wants a bouquet of flowering sticks, whatever that means, and I thought we were both looking forward to Mrs. Cake teaching us the secret recipe to her famous spring solstice cake.
Oh,
Sounds
I
like fun.
Totally am. But we could just buy a cake from her, right?
Starlight, sweetie. That's just taking the easy way out. Buying a cake would be simpler, yes. But the point is that Trixie wanted to have fun making it from scratch with you, as a nice bonding experience. That's what would make it even more special for both of you.
We could, but then we'd miss out on baking together. Plus, the time I spent flattering and convincing and begging her to share the recipe would be for nothing. And we promised to make a cake, not buy a cake, and the great and powerful Trixie keeps her promises!
Especially great and powerful
Why
ones.
don't we just split up these jobs? I'll get the streamers and the chafing dish. You
Duty
get started on those
calls.
sticks, and I'll be right back. You know, why don't I just hang on to this? Wouldn't want to forget the things I just said I'd take care of. Because I am totally gonna take care of them.
And you jinxed yourself. Hello,
Could it
Rose.
be Plum Blossom? I have no idea.
Whoops.
Sorry, Rose, but I need a bouquet of flowering sticks stat.
I thought I was getting the flowering sticks.
Remember?
I'm still not exactly sure what they are.
No one is.
Right, got it. You get the sticks, I'll get the streamers. Right after I take care of what I'm sure is an even smaller student problem than the last one.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Rose, you silly filly. Can't blame you for trying.
I think I have the shower thing under control, but I can't figure out how to describe a towel.
Good grief. Sorry, dude.
Now, Smolder, I understand the school can be a bit drafty, but that doesn't mean you can breathe fire anywhere you want.
Like on Gallus' textbooks.
What do you
Wipe
mean,
that
Trixie
grin off
already
your
picked up
face, young
Sunburst's
lady.
genuine pre-equestrian equinox chafing dish. That was my job. I think. Wait. Was it?
I don't even know anymore. Poor Ocellus.
It's perfectly normal for a changeling to struggle with identity issues, but...
Counselor Starlight! When you're done, I need some synonyms for the word dry.
Oh,
Or
for
really
Pete's
just help
sake,
explain the
Sylvie.
concept.
Hello, Mrs.
Wait,
Cake.
Mrs. Cake! You can't close. Trixie and I need to learn the recipe for your equinox cake.
Oh, it's fine, dear. Trixie was already here. I told her everything she needs to know.
What?
And I'm sure she'll remember it all.
The great and powerful Trixie might keep her promises, but the busy and distracted Starlight sure doesn't. I promised to help her today, and I haven't done a single thing.
Aw,
Oh, that does sound hard, dear.
Starlight.
And I'm not quite sure how to tell you this, but your hope is glowing.
Not the first time,
Of
Chiffon.
course it
Trust
is.
me. Yikes. This is what the tropes call a light switch surprise. Returning home late to find an irritated friend or family member waiting for you. Like what happened in The Incredibles after Bob and Lucius dealt with that burning building.
Trixie, what are you doing here?
It's the one place I knew I could find you.
Ouch!
So sorry about today. I'm just so
Busy, I know. Obviously, your students are more important than your friends.
Now that's not fair, Trixie.
Starlight, you have a minute?
Bad time, Silverstream.
Actually, Silverstream, I don't. Besides, I need to lock up the school for the holiday, and it's time you caught the train home. I'm sure a smart and capable student like you can figure out the solution to any problem over the break. But for now, the counselor's office is closed.
Now that is the kind of affirmative action you need from the get-go, Starlight. You need to make it clear that while helping students is your job, you have other obligations too. I know it's going to bite you in the flank in this particular instance, but you had to put your hoof down at some point. Sorry, Sylvie.
I have a cake to bake.
Friendship reaffirmed. Nailed it! Yes, I have been watching that show on Netflix, and it is hilarious. Not to diss Starlight and Trixie's efforts, but I think this cake belongs there. Also, hello Sunburst, Maud, Mudbriar. Good to see you again.
Ow.
Ouch.
Is this cake supposed to be so sharp?
Down,
It
Trixie.
looks really interesting.
Technically, it's not symmetrical or aesthetically pleasing.
Never one to mince
Maybe
words,
it's not the
Mudbriar.
best cake, but we made it together, and that's what counts.
True.
I'm glad you brought it. And everything else. I'm very excited. This is going to be the most perfect party ever.
You
And
sure
with all
sound
of your
excited, Maud.
students home for the holiday, I won't have to worry about you being summoned to your office in the middle of it.
Win-win, right?
Nothing is gonna take me away from this party.
Hello, Starlight? Starlight?
Hello, Terramar.
Sorry, this is a private cavern.
Is Starlight here? I was told she'd be here.
She's here.
What's wrong?
I'm Terramar, Silverstream's brother. I've been looking all over for you. Silverstream is missing.
Not good. You could stand to be a bit more invested in this, Trixie. I realize you've had a stressful day, but it's no excuse for being nonchalant.
I don't understand. Silverstream didn't come home?
I was supposed to meet her at the Mount Eris train station, but she never showed up. It's
I
a
can
long way
imagine the
between
panic in
Ponyville
her
and Mount
family.
Eris. She could be anywhere. Our parents are leading teams of hippogriffs and sea ponies, searching the land and sea between here and our home. They sent me to check the school.
But the
Likeliest
school's
place
closed.
she'd
All
be.
the students are gone.
Are you sure? I know she had a big project due for Twilight. Do you think she might have stayed to finish it?
Not
Never told me
unlikely.
about a project.
Well, to be fair, you closed your office the last time she came by.
Really?
Way to rub it in, Trixie.
What kind of counselor turns away a student with a problem?
Easy,
The kind with too
Terramar.
much on her plate. Starlight has always gone out of her way for her students. And I mean always.
Look, Trix. I realize you were the most personally affected by Starlight's hectic schedule, but we don't need your passive aggression right now. A student is missing, and if she's not found, there's gonna be hell to pay from all of Mount Eris and Twilight too.
Except apparently when it matters. This is all my fault.
Aw,
You all go back to the
Starlight.
party. Terramar and I will check the school. We'll find your sister.
Good luck, you two.
I should have known it couldn't last. Party perfection is more of a Pinky thing.
I wasn't going to say anything, but these flowers are just glued on, so technically, it wasn't perfect already.
Seriously, dude?
But that's probably not important.
Thank you.
You check the grounds and I'll look inside.
Let's split up, gang.
Silverstream?
Not in here.
No!
We know Pinky has different party cannons, but it seems it's only due to her defiance of physics that she can shoot herself out of her normal-size one. Because judging from how tightly Glimm's head was squeezed in there, no normal pony would be able to fit inside.
Any creature?
No creature.
She's not down here.
I don't see her anywhere.
Did you check her room?
There might be a clue to her whereabouts.
Well, she's not here.
No, she isn't. But look at this.
The biology of a
Might be
cockatrice.
what her project was on? You don't think she went into the Everfree Forest to find a cockatrice by herself, do you?
I don't know.
That seems
but I'm
very
going to
likely.
find out.
Starlight? Thank you. Whoops!
Oh, what are you all doing here?
Your
We came
friends
to
are
help.
here to help.
We couldn't let you handle this alone.
Technically, she wasn't alone. But we wanted to help anyway.
Very kind of you.
Thanks. All of you. But the students are my responsibility. I'm the one who didn't do my job when it actually mattered.
Starlight.
I might share a bit of the blame for pressuring you into leaving work early.
At least you admit your mistake, Trixie. It's a big step up from the way you used to be.
But I don't want to ruin your party.
We can still have a party. A search party.
Still
Can
counts
we
as a
talk
party,
about all this later? Silverstream might be in the Everfree Forest alone.
which means there's no time to
I think she went in
waste.
to do research on cockatrices.
What? The gaze of the cockatrice is known to petrify any who dare to cross its path. And the reptilian birds are elusive and solitary. Where would we even start?
I have a lot of experience telling ponies that I have experience with the dangerous creatures of Everfree Forest.
That was a mouthful. Tally-ho! Okay, Trixie, which way?
The great and directionally astute Trixie says we go left.
Left it is.
This way.
Follow the leader. She's just doing that to look impressive. Finding interesting flora, Mudbriar? This feels familiar. Ew. Huh. Deja vu.
Weren't we just here?
Trixie, do you have any idea how to find a cockatrice?
No, but usually when there's a dangerous creature in the forest I don't want to meet, this is how I meet them.
Good grief. Kinda reminds me of that scene from Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, too. Rabbit wanted to get Tigger lost in the woods, but he, Pooh, and Piglet ended up lost as well. Pooh said that every time they tried to find home, they kept arriving at a sand pit. So I suggested that if they try looking for the sand pit, they'll find home. I suppose this is similar logic. Finding the beast by trying not to find it.
We might need a more concrete plan.
Suit yourself.
According to Silverstream's research, the cockatrice prefers rocky terrain and ample shade.
That would have been nice to know sooner.
I can't imagine where we'll find that in a forest.
Actually, rocks aren't the most hospitable environment for shade trees.
Technically, pine trees like Pinus cembra or Pinus sylvestris can grow from narrow crevasses or cracks in a rocky rhizosphere.
You complete me.
You two are perfect for each other, as I knew from your first episode together.
There's some pine trees over there.
Let's go! That's a lot of chicken snakes.
I thought you said they were solitary.
They are. This must be some kind of migration.
How
There's
inconvenient.
no sign of Silverstream. I can't imagine getting caught in the middle of that flock.
It's just lucky we're all over here and they're all over there.
we're saying.
Technically,
Don't even say it.
Whatever you do, don't look at them. Their gaze can turn you to stone.
so what do we do?
Run! That's what! This situation would be so much worse if it were a basilisk instead of cockatrices. A cockatrice will turn you to stone, which is reversible, but a basilisk will kill you if you look it in the eye. Ouch.
Sunburst!
Whoa, easy there, buddy.
Starlight! I'm so sorry. We have to get out of here.
I know.
Before someone gets hurt.
We can't leave. Silverstream might still be in the forest. Stay here. I'll get the others.
Good luck, Glimmy. Don't look.
Bucking is coming from everywhere.
The great and powerful Trixie fears no luck.
Eat smoke bombs, you petrifying poultry pythons!
Come on.
Too late.
Maud.
Whoa,
we gotta get out of
too
here.
close for comfort.
I'm not leaving him.
Oh, poor Mudbriar.
Mudbriar's been turned to stone?
I didn't think I could love him anymore.
That's kinda dark coming from you, Maud. Not gonna lie. You do realize what this means for him, don't you?
We've got to get out of here.
But we haven't found Silverstream. We can't leave yet.
And the
Can't stay
cockatrices
here.
have caught up. That was easy. Or not.
This way.
To the Treehouse of Harmony! Well, it's lucky those cockatrices are too stupid to realize they can just fly over the wall. Not the brightest of beasts, are they?
Now what?
Let's hope Silverstream found a good place to hide. There could be hundreds more cockatrices on the way. If this really is a migration, it'll take a full lunar cycle to complete.
That's
We
not
have to
good.
get word back to our parents that Silverstream could be surrounded by those terrifying birds.
And as handsome as Mudbriar is now, we should probably catch one of them to turn him back to normal.
At least you have your priorities
This
straight.
is all my fault. I'm never taking time off for my counseling duties again.
That
Don't
seems a little
say
extreme.
that.
Really? If I hadn't galloped off to a holiday celebration, Silverstream would be safe with her family, and you'd all be enjoying Maud's party. Instead, my student is missing, we're surrounded by a flock of petrifying chicken snakes, and Maud's boyfriend was turned into a hunk of rock!
Well, yes, but there's no way you could have predicted any of this would happen. You're being way too hard on yourself, Starlight. Twilight's like that too. And it hurts just as much seeing you put yourself down as it does seeing her do it to herself.
You got the hunk part right.
Maud, please.
Top it off, we have no idea if Silverstream even came to Everfree at all, but I have no idea where else to look!
Behind you, maybe?
Been there.
What? Oh, that's the student's treehouse. Apparently it grew from the Tree of Harmony and...
Light bulb!
Of course! That should have been the first place we looked!
Hindsight's a bitch, ain't it? Take your time, Maud. There's Sylvie!
Silverstream, look
With
out!
company!
Counselor Starlight, no!
She's tame, Glims.
This is Edith. She's helping me with my project.
Hello, Edith.
I don't understand.
After you encouraged me to solve my own problem, I decided to get my project done before I left. That way I could really focus on my family during my visit. The school was closed, so I came here.
What do you
Didn't tell
know?
anyone. Mom and Dad are worried sick.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Once Edith volunteered to help, I guess I lost track of time. Cockatrices are
Oopsie.
really friendly if you know how to interact with them.
I can't believe you figured out how to trigger her nesting response.
I
They
guess
are
it comes with
really
being part
fascinating
bird.
creatures. Did you know that they migrate to the everfree forest once a year? Can you imagine what would happen if you stumbled on a whole flock of these?
As a matter of
I have a
fact,
few ideas.
Exhibit A.
I'm sorry you got turned to stone looking for me, but I'm glad Edith was able to turn you back.
How do you tell the difference?
Beats
I have
me.
mixed feelings about it.
Technically, I will always be a stick pony, but the experience has given me an even deeper appreciation for the density and permanence of rock.
Swoon.
Oh, Maud. Never change.
Silverstream and I should get going, but I wanted to thank you for everything you did to help find her.
You're welcome,
Just wish I hadn't
Terramar.
abandoned her in the first place.
Starlight, you didn't abandon her.
I might as well have. And even though it turned out all right, things could have been a lot worse.
You can't be expected to supervise your students every second of every day.
I'm not
Good
so
point,
sure.
Sunburst.
I like that you're always available, but it kind of makes it okay to come to you with stuff that maybe isn't super important.
It's an
Of course,
easily
being a
abused
school
system.
counselor is a big responsibility, but always being at work isn't fair to any pony, especially me.
Egotism aside, Trixie has a point. You'll always have obligations as a counselor, but you also have obligations to yourself and your friends.
Do you think if I had set times to see me, it might help you decide what you really need to talk about?
To be
Very much
honest,
so.
You really weren't very helpful with the other stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Wait, what? Happy Spring Solstastic, every pony! Who wants a piece of Mrs. Cake's famous...
Petrified
That's some solid
dessert?
cake.
You had me at petrified.
You always know just what to say, Maud. Quite an episode, this one. Lots of familiar faces returning, and a suspenseful adventure, with a good lesson to cap it off. Major kudos to Josh Haber, as well as to Kelly Sheridan, Kathleen Barr, Lauren Jackson, Ian Hanlon, Ingrid Nilsson, Adam Kirshner, and Cole Howard. Twilight made a brilliant call in appointing Starlight the guidance counselor of her school. As Starlight herself pointed out, the experiences of her own awkward past allow her to better help the students with problems they have. She got to show her skills off nicely in episodes like School Days, Marks for Effort, and The End and Friend. It also shows how much trust Twilight places in her to hold such an important position. Heck, that trust extends to one day bequeathing the whole school itself to her, along with her castle. If that's not proof of how much she believes in her former student, I don't know what is. Starlight's come such a long way from the calculating, unhinged dictator she once was, and I couldn't be prouder of her. Unfortunately, her job has suddenly become very demanding, a far cry from how dead it was before Cozy Glow came to see her in Marks for Effort. The root problem is that Starlight, out of generosity and hospitality no doubt, and from Twilight allowing her staff of friends to run things their way, upholds an open-door policy with her office. This allows students to come to her at all hours asking for advice, even if it's not strictly within her scope of expertise. Worse still, the others have already left for Canterlot, so she's the only member of staff available before spring break. It's gotten to the point where she has a magical notification system telling her when someone needs to talk to her, and it's always going off, leaving her booked, as she doesn't want to neglect a student who needs help. The result of all this is that she's become negligent and distant in her personal life, and the one most affected by this is her best friend, Trixie. It's largely because she feels ignored and left out, which is perfectly understandable, even if she does act a bit uncaring towards the students as a result. But she's not wrong about Starlight becoming negligent and needing to take time off. seeing as how she completely forgot about promising to help with the spring solstice celebration put together by Maud and Mudbriar, with Sunburst coming to attend. Starlight tries to get back on track with what she promised, but keeps getting interrupted with student visits, leaving Trixie to do all the work, while she's saddled with more and more guilt. Finally, the great and powerful one has had enough, and confronts Starlight in her office about her behavior, just as Silverstream arrives. Sylvie's been the most frequent with coming to Starlight for rather trivial concerns, and it seems to Starlight that this will be no different, so she finally puts her hoof down, firmly telling Silverstream to handle her problem herself, as the office was now closed. It was honestly something she should have done a long time ago, along with setting up office hours, even if it did kind of backfire this time, since Sylvie's concern was actually important. The spring solstastic is in full swing, pointy cake and all, when Silverstream's brother Terramar suddenly arrives, saying Sylvie never came home, and their parents and all of Mount Eris are in a panic about it. Immediately concluding that she had a hoof in it by sending her away unanswered, Starlight searches the whole school without success, though Sylvie's dorm room does lend a clue. She'd been researching cockatrices for a project, and Starlight and Terramar come to the disquieting conclusion that she went to the Everfree Forest for field study, putting her at risk from their petrifying gaze. They're soon joined by the others, who volunteer to help search. Trixie humbly admits that she shares some of the blame for pressuring Starlight to take time off, and leads the charge to find where Silverstream could be in the forest. After getting turned around a bit, they find a migration ground swarming with cockatrices, and soon end up chased by them, resulting in Mudbriar being turned to stone, and with no Fluttershy around to intimidate a cockatrice into changing him back. Maud isn't wholly upset about it, make of that what you will, though she does want him back to normal. Starlight, for her part, feels utterly miserable about the whole mess, feeling it's a sign that she should never take off work again. A harsh and heartbreaking sentiment, and not too different from all the times Twilight blames herself for everything. The pursuit soon leads them to the castle of the two sisters, and consequently, the Treehouse of Harmony, which should have been the first place they looked. There, they find Silverstream, along with her research partner, a cockatrice she managed to tame and named Edith. When Starlight closed her office, Sylvie decided to handle things herself as she'd been told, and went to finish her project before heading home, discovering that cockatrices aren't that vicious, if you know how to handle them. Unfortunately, she lost track of time and didn't think to warn her parents she'd be late, hence the panic she unintentionally caused. Back at Maud's, Mudbriar is turned back to normal, and while he still prefers sticks, his experience has given him a better appreciation for rocks, which really makes Maud happy. I have to say, they did an excellent job with Mudbriar in this episode. He's as pedantic as ever, but he's much more self-aware than he was when he was driving Pinkie mad, and he's quick to back off when he realizes he's being insensitive. Now that's character growth right there. Starlight apologizes for the whole mess, feeling responsible for it all by sending Sylvie away. Really, though, it's not her fault, as the others make sure to point out. She can't devote herself to her job 24/7, with no regard to her personal life. It isn't fair to her or her friends. She needs to take time for herself as well, something Kane's helped Twilight understand back in Once Upon a Zeppelin. I'm sure if word of this reaches Twi's ear, she'll understand, since she had a similar experience. Silverstream also admits how unfair it was of her to abuse Starlight's open door policy, since it made her and others think they could talk to her about anything, even if it isn't strictly important, which led Starlight to think that her last visit would have been no different than the others before. That's part of what makes this episode good. Balance on both sides, so that neither is completely in the right or in the wrong. And so, they work out a compromise, which should have been made before. Starlight will institute office hours for student concerns that are actually something she can deal with, since, as Silverstream bluntly notes, her help with her previous questions wasn't very helpful. Hopefully, this will allow Starlight to have a normal schedule again. And so, the Spring Solstastic is back on, rock solid cake and all, something Maude doesn't mind in the slightest. A suspenseful, emotional, interesting episode, all in all. Until next time, see ya!